Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. So, welcome. You will notice that I am in a slightly different environment. I am traveling again. Oh my God, there's almost part of me where I'm just like, I'm bloody, tired. But so what you're seeing here is the upper frame of the bunk bed. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly show you here. Here, let me just see here so you can see. Here's part of my little room. My little room. There's the upper bunk there, and I've just arrived in Vancouver yesterday. I'm staying in a little hostel. So don't think it's all glamour. My life is all glamour. It isn't, stuff like this. Keeps it real. And I'm here for until Sunday the 29th, and that's when the rest of the journey happens to Alaska and then on to Japan, because I'm part of something which is called the Nomad Cruise, and it's basically people that provide digital it's actually a conference. And this is my second one. So it's good for, business, networking, just meeting like-minded people, people that also kind of travel a lot because they're digital, they work from their laptops. And of course, as I work from my laptop. So it's a great opportunity to meet like-minded people. And it's just very interesting. It's a great adventure. And it's my birthday on the 12th of October, which many of you will know. And I've always wanted to go to Japan since I was a little boy, and this opportunity came up where this conference, this cruise, was also going to Japan. And when we arrive in Japan, we arrive on the 11th of October, and my birthday's on the 12th. So I was just like, it's too perfect. I had to go. But as you know, I'm just back from 2 weeks in the States doing my retreat and everything like that. So I'm I feel like I'm slightly beyond jet lag now, but sometimes that's just how it is. And I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I won't be going to Japan every day, that's for sure. And that's also as well why I'm gone for a while as well, because when we arrive, the trip ends after a couple of days, and it's like, no one goes to Japan just for 2 days. If you go, you really have to make the most of it. So we're staying for a couple of weeks. So you're going to be seeing me changing around a bit. When you next see me, I might actually be at sea. So assuming the Starlink and everything like that works, I hope it does, because if it doesn't, then it's probably going to go dark from me for quite a while. But I've been told that we'll have internet at sea, so I should be able to keep providing you videos and content while I'm away. But just so you know, it's a conference, Nomad Cruise. You guys can look it up. And it was actually one of my old friends, Gustav, that I've known for, we were counting the other day, something like 22 years, something like that. I mean, it was quite a while ago, and he was nagging me for years to do this. And then I sort of like gave in about 18 months ago, and I had such a good time, and I just met such interesting people that I'm back again. And I wasn't thinking of doing another one, but then when I saw it was going to Japan and it lined up perfectly with my birthday, I couldn't resist. But anyway, so thank you for everyone that is jumping in the chat. I was going to do this in the hostel kitchen. I was like, oh, it's nice and quiet, but now people have started to come back. People are walking around. I didn't want you guys to have that noise. If you do hear a little bit of noise, traffic noise in the background, it's because my hostel, which is called Canby Hostel on Seymour Street, is literally right next to Seymour Street, which is a very busy road and intersection. So you may hear a little bit of traffic and stuff like that. Obviously, I can't do anything about it. And when you're traveling, you just have to adapt with the circumstances as best as one can. But here you are, you're all piling in, and let's actually open with the first question. So here I'm going to be reading the questions that you've left in the community section. So let's go here. So we've got one here. Let's see. Okay. Haiti. Oh God. Gosh. All right, let's start with, oh, now this is actually quite an intriguing one. Actually, I might leave it for a little bit later. This one's about Naomi Campbell. Oh, and then someone's asking about the asteroid that is coming. Actually, let's start with the asteroids. So Campbell 483, you know who you are, says, does the second moon asteroid 24 ET5 have any influence on astrology? Pardon me, for the month of September 29th to November 30th. 57 days in total. Now that is a good question. Asteroids, it can have an impact in the sense that asteroids can often represent omens, portents. This is something that I think, from what I understand, because actually a friend of mine sent me the link to this, and this is something that I think is going to come back in the 2050s or something like that. Now, this object, though, is very, very small, very, very small. Apparently, it is only, from what I understand, it's only about, I think it's only about 10 square meters or something like that. It's not very big. Or is it kilometers? I can't remember. Sorry, forgive me. I can't remember, Rich. I'm trying to remember the story now, but obviously I'm a bit jet lagged. In terms of the effect on astrological charts and stuff like that, I would say it would be fleeting and it would be very minimal, because it's a very, very small object in the sky. Would necessarily come under the category of space debris, and it's not as big, say, like a Chiron, for example, which is an asteroid. But that's a moon. It's a slightly odd of shape, but obviously it's been going around for a long time and its effects are well known. This is really kind of like a pebble moving through the sky, so I don't expect it to actually impact astrologically so much. I think it's more about the timing, the portent. It's more about the omen it brings. So we need to see if it has a tail. We need to see its color. For example, some astrologers are talking about this because the color can be very significant. I think it's more to do of just with the timing of what is going on now. Whenever things do show up in the sky, now this cannot be seen with the naked eye. It can't even be seen with semi-professional observatory. It has to, observatory tools. It has to be with specialist equipment. So that already says a lot. I mean, it's the experts that have found it. Things that tend to even have more impact in terms of omens and stuff tends to be stuff that can be seen with the naked eye in particular, because then we know it is entering the consciousness of humanity. But you know what? It's worth a little read. Where did I put my... There you are. I'll put my cards behind me. Worth a little read. Let's just see if it will have any impact. I think it's mainly symbolic. I think it is talking about how planet Earth right now seems to be very perturbed, just in general. And because this, of course, is something coming into the Earth's orbit, and then it's going to bounce back out again. It won't make a full revolution. I wonder if I still have the article. Actually, let me see if I can find the article for you that my friend sent to me, my friend Padre. Let me see if I've had the sense to keep the page open. I'm also kind of worried about there's a big storm, there's a big hurricane on the way for Florida. I'm kind of a bit more worried about that, to be honest. What's this? Here we go. So this is a BBC article. Yeah, this is the one that my friend sent me. Yeah, you can see here. So it said, Earth briefly to gain a second moon, scientists say. Which is a bit, I think that's a little bit of hyperbole. This really is not that big. If we had a second moon come into orbit, can you imagine the chaos it would cause to the tides and the gravitational force and stuff like that? So it says here, a small asteroid is going to be captured by Earth's gravitational pull and temporarily become a mini moon. This space visitor will be around from 29th of September for a couple of months before escaping Earth's gravity again. Sadly, the second moon, it will be too small and dim to be seen unless you have a professional telescope. The asteroid was first spotted by NASA's Asteroid Terrestrial Impact System Alert System on the 7th of August. Let's see the size. So this one's obviously come close, according to researchers, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. So Dr. Jennifer Millard, astronomer, told the BBC debate program that they would enter the orbit from 29th of September, was predicted to leave around the 25th of November. Let's just see if the asteroid is look, there we are. Yeah, the asteroid is approximately 32 feet long or 10 meters long, so it is very small. I mean, it would be a big deal if it came into the atmosphere. It would cause a big streak and maybe be able to hit the ground. And it says because it's small and made of dull rock, it will not be visible to people on Earth, even if they use binoculars or a home telescope. So, but professional telescopes will be able to pick it up. So what that is saying is, it's just like I said, it's too small to be astrologically significant. But let's see, though, if this asteroid is having more of a symbolic influence on us. And I think that's an interesting question. So let's look at that. Let's ask the cards about that. And then we'll get into the meat and drink of the other questions. Thank you for everyone joining me, by the way. Much appreciated. All right, what is this asteroid? What can it tell us about humanity? My goodness, I've done shows everywhere now, haven't I, folks? I always bring you with me. Sometimes it's a little bit daunting. I get a little bit of anxiety trying to how to set things best up, get good lighting, good sound. I didn't want to be in the kitchen. There were too many people walking by, and they would get too curious. Oh my goodness. Maybe there is a bit more significance, not astrologically, but we asked about humanity. What is this talking about? We look here, we get the Three of Pentacles here, and the Three of Pentacles is, of course, the card of cooperation, yeah, working together, negotiations, working to a plan, which is quite interesting because that seems to be the opposite, isn't it, of what is going on right now in the world. Everyone seems to be working against each other, but I think this is probably what it's highlighting. It's probably highlighting humanity's relationships and our ability to collaborate and coordinate with others in useful ways. Yeah, because that's really what the question was, wasn't it? We look here, though, in the obstacle position, but mind you, it may not necessarily be the obstacle because the first one was a nice card, but when you see the other cards, you'll see what I mean. What this is saying to me is this is a little bit of the shadow of the magician in this instance here. Now, the magician is a very powerful card. If you're working towards goals, say you're starting a new business, or you want to start a new business, or start a new job, or any kind of new venture, anything that requires your willpower, wanting to go out, strike out, and use every tool at your disposal, this is actually a very positive card to get, particularly for your outcome card, because it shows that, you know, you have all that you need in order to get things done. But the shadow of this card is manipulation. So when we put it together here, this would suggest that there are too many people manipulating, maybe collaborating and coordinating in dark ways. Yeah, particularly when you see the next cards that come here. So in a way, I feel like this meteor is probably just highlighting that moment in the world. Maybe talking about dark actors on the world stage. Also as well, just in case we weren't sure, look at this. We get the death card here. Now, the death card doesn't always literally mean death, but as we do know at the moment, there is an awful lot of death at the moment in the world. Many of you have also asking questions about Palestine, Ukraine, which we'll look at, things that the GOP are saying. So in this sense, it is talking about true death, I think, in terms of globally, but also as well, this is showing the requirements for transformation. We as human beings Perhaps there are too many, not even perhaps, we know there are too many people manipulating, and they are affecting global coordination. Yeah. So they are probably collaborating in more negative ways, yeah, in a more manipulative way. And it's also causing destruction, but that's also an opportunity for a rebirth, maybe a changing world order. If we look at the next card here, we get the Five of Wands. So this is the card, of course. No, that is the Seven of Wands. Now here you can see a person defending their position on a hill. So in many ways, I think this is how a lot of people are feeling right now, actually, that they're having to defend their position, defend their stake in the world, defend their living standards. Everything feels like a fight. The world seems to be in a state of conflict, and obviously, you know, when we think of so many things going on right now, so I think this is also talking about humanity, but also as well about how the average person is feeling like it's a fight to survive and make ends meet. And then here, unfortunately, if we see here, we get the Five of Pentacles card. Sorry if the thingy bob's a bit bright. Or, you know, in fact, I don't even want to move it actually because it could switch off. So here we got the Five of Pentacles. Now the Five of Pentacles can talk about, you know, poverty. That's the obvious one. But this can also talk about being shut out in the cold. So I think really, when I put this all in together, what maybe this comment is highlighting how the collaboration with people of humanity, you know, working together for a shared goal, is being undermined and manipulated by powerful forces that are trying to bring around maybe a change, a dynamic change, the death of an old world order and maybe a new one. But everyone is defending their position, maybe defending their values, or just trying to actually just, you know, stay alive and stave off, you know, things like feeling disenfranchised, being shut out. It's a bit of a negative card though. Let me just see if I can, let me pull a clarifier on that one. Because I mean, I don't want to start off the show with that. Let's just have a look. What's the clarification on this Five of Pentacles? Let's just see. Ah, look at this. Much more positive card here. So we get the Ace of Cups. So what that suggests to me is that even though as difficult as things are, there is potential as well for hope, emotional fulfillment, and renewal and happiness. This is a card of happiness. So I would say this is a test. Maybe this is a test for the next few years, because as people manipulate, other things are being exposed, and as those things are being exposed, they can be cleansed and they can be healed. So let's just say I think it's a test, and maybe this comet is just symbolizing maybe the peak of some of these issues that are now coming to a head. Yeah, so that's what I will put down for that in terms of the reading. Let's see here. Let me just put up some of your comments. Blazing says, for those where tornadoes hit, there are grants for storm shelters. Your city government has to help fill out paperwork. Shelters are stealing to be bolted to concrete. Yeah, we stand Cat 5. Yes, absolutely. And that's important. Very good point. Let's see here. Tiffany Moody is saying hello. Sorry, my chat's scribbling around now. Let's see here. That one didn't click up. Sorry, folks. What's it? Elisa's. How do I say that? Elisabeth. Unusual name. Thank you. What is your info on Blackrock? Do we need to worry control of the world? I mean, we are in. I saw this coming years ago. I'm going to say, like, we are in an era of the corporate superpower. Essentially, when you actually look at it, corporations are essentially running everything, even governments. I think that's become increasingly clear. I'll pull 3 cards on Blackrock just to see what the energy is on them. But if you think about it, think of I mean, if you think of Apple, for example, $1 trillion company, Google, Amazon, even Disney. I'm not saying they're bad or good or what have you. I'm just saying, if you just think of the influence these companies have, we think of petroleum, oil, gas, but the tech companies in particular have huge influence. But let's just see on BlackRock, particularly with AI and stuff like that. But let's just see. Okay, BlackRock. Thanks for your question. It's the energy of BlackRock. Let's pull 3 cards. Let's pull 3 cards. BlackRock. What's BlackRock's energy? Oh, now this is interesting. Well, for BlackRock, I think they are exploring new avenues, yeah, because they're ready. They're there with the Fool energy. Now, of course, the Fool sometimes can literally mean someone stupid. We know BlackRock is not stupid, yeah. What this says to me is that they're planning to embark on new ventures, yeah, new ventures, going out into the world and exploring new opportunities, which require a leap of faith. So they're probably going out of their comfort zone. Oh, I just want to say here, Carmen, thank you so much. See if that's going to click up. Takes a little while. Thank you so much, Carmen, for your very kind donation. Much appreciated. Just click off that there. If we see here, they've got an aggressive new plan. Yeah, they're going out with gusto, with action. So whatever it is, it's certainly something pioneering, maybe even quite aggressive. Obviously, they're a hugely influential financial organization. So this shows they really are going for something bold and new. And if we see here, the outcome card here is the sun. So we're probably going to learn about this. We'll get full illumination of what it is that they're up to. It looks like they are likely to succeed with whatever plan that they have. But it's going to be something broad, wide-ranging, and likely to have a significant impact, because if we see here, I've just pulled 3 cards and they've got major arcana. So in terms of, for them, they're pursuing their agendas aggressively, and it's likely to succeed whatever it is that they're up to. But I think in light of the previous reading, I think it's probably going to be talking about probably even more power and influence and potentially control. Yeah, unfortunately, someone's saying here down with BlackRock. Pep says down with BlackRock, but you saw their cards. Yeah, you know, as you know, I just say what I see without fear or favor, because one has to read the cards in an unbiased way as possible. So they certainly have an agenda and they're trying new things, and it looks like they might be quite successful in those adventures. Let's see here. Now this would be a good one. So Lucy Claire, Zelensky is to talk to Trump this week. How inappropriate. I wonder what Zelensky will say. Now that actually preempts one of the questions. So actually let's leap to, in fact, actually, what I'm going to do Naomi Campbell one, and then we're going to go on to Zelensky. Just let a few more people come in. My gosh, there's almost 500 of you now. So let's see here. Let's look. Okay, so I'll do this one from Manuela, Naomi Campbell, then Zelensky, and then we'll do some GOP and Duck Orange. Well, Duck Orange is there with Zelensky. So Manuela Orchid says, hello, Hoagie. Would you please read on the Israel war against Lebanon and if it will totally escalate? An astrological chart for that area would be good too. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm traveling and I don't have my astrological software with me, but those charts are being activated in the Middle East. Would you do the astrology for all our zodiac signs for the rest of the year? That would be lovely. Much love, Manuela. Yeah, actually, I think I'll probably, I will look into that. When will I do that? I'll probably do that when I'm in my cabin, when I've got a bit more space and it's a bit more comfortable. Possibly when I'm out at sea. But let's see on that then. If the Israel and Lebanon situation, if it will escalate. Oh gosh, Isn't it interesting? Because when I was reading the first question on the asteroid, wasn't it interesting the cards that came up, which are really talking about dovetailing into what these subsequent questions have been? Because I took that one there just on the one on Blackrock, and we could see they're up to stuff. Let's see what the cards have to say about Lebanon and Israel. Will it explode out into wider conflict? I certainly hope it doesn't. But there are so many agitators at the moment, guys. I've been saying Pluto in sidereal Capricorn, so many agitators, so many corporate interests that are making money off conflict, division, and war. Whether it's for assets, money, profits. All right, let's have a look. Lebanon, Israel. Hopefully we want calmer cards. If we get cards that are quite calm, if we get towers, 5 of swords, 7 of swords, 9 of swords, then see if it's going to go into a wider thing. I've not gone out today. It's very drizzly and dreary in Vancouver. The weather's worse than London. Oh, okay. Looks like there might be some hope. Looks like there might be some hope. Let's see here. Just cover the naughty bits. So the Lovers has turned up. Now, you know this card here. This card is about it's about making choices, not just romantic choices. As you know, I often have some extra interpretations for the cards that might be non-traditional. I associate this card as well with international trade. Yeah, international trade, particularly, or relationships between countries as well. So how appropriate that the Lovers card should come up. So of course, it shows here that decisions made now will have a big effect on this potential conflict, if or not it will accelerate, because this can talk about the relationships between countries, trade, goods, services. What this also says to me as well, there is an element connected here. There might even be a financial incentive involved as well, yeah, because this is one of my cards of trade, yeah. If we look here, though, in the obstacle position, there is this element here of walking away. So I would actually say that in this context, this is probably quite good, because it may mean people may decide to walk away from a major conflict, but this could also mean people walking away from an agreement. Oh, of course. I think it's just been announced, pardon me. I don't have time to get water. I think it's just been announced that a representative of Netanyahu is walking away from the deal. You see, isn't that interesting? Wow. If we look here, 2 of Pentacles, so we can see here, this is about juggling things. This is about trying to find the balance with the choppy waters behind. It also shows as well, this card also implies a certain level degree of manipulation as well. So it could be that people might not be being honest brokers, and they might be doing things that's going to give them what they believe to be the upper hand or the advantage. And again, it's Pentacles. So it shows that with this connection here with Israel-Lebanon conflict, there is, I'm picking up a financial trade business aspect to this conflict as well. However, we do have the Star card that shows up. Now, this is the card of, you know, a rebirth, the universe having your back, being looked after, getting divine guidance and inspiration. So, of course, this is a very positive card, and it would suggest that maybe the conflict isn't going to increase too much. However, remember though, I have a shadow interpretation of this card, which is the narcissist. Yeah, and I often get this card for Duck Larange and sadly also as well Netanyahu. So it could also suggest there's someone here who's got a lot of narcissistic behavior, could also be having an influence. And then if we see here, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is the card of slow and steady progress. So it doesn't look like massive escalation. Maybe it's something that is simmers and bubbles. But the shadow interpretation of this as well is also the mercenary. So this is also an element of proxy war here, where people might be using mercenaries and proxies to kind of facilitate their bidding. But it's not, hopefully we didn't get the Tower. Yeah, we didn't get the Tower. We didn't get the Death card. We didn't get, not that a Death card is always negative. We didn't get the Five of Swords. We didn't get the Knight of Swords, you know, which are, you know, very aggressive cards. What this says to me is, and it's the Knight of Pentacles, there is, maybe we may not know it in the West, or it may not be reported as such, but there are trade and financial elements to this conflict. How that is going to come out in the wash, I don't know, but that is strongly what I'm getting. It's also to do with trade and assets as well, because too many pentacle cards. We've got two pentacle cards there, and we've got the Lovers. Yeah. Maybe someone, one of the parties is trying to rejuvenate their prospects in some kind of way. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting as an answer. Let's see who else is in the chat. I have to respond. Spirit One said, where is Hoagie tonight? He looks like he's at a prison cell. No, I'm in my dorm. Yeah, I'm in my... Oh, I love you guys. It makes me laugh. Oh gosh, no, I'm not. I'm not in my prison cell. All right, let's do Naomi Campbell, and then let's get into Donald Trump and Zelensky. My goodness, yeah, I wouldn't be expecting that one. So if we scroll here, oh, actually, look, Denise Ferguson here. It's just written here. Netanyahu has no peace plan for the discussion in the next 45 days after the US election. Is Netanyahu having ongoing communication with Jared Kushner? If so, is the FBI aware and monitoring these communications? Oh, let's quickly ask on that. So let's do Netanyahu. I'll do 3 cards. Netanyahu, Jared Kushner. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, wanting to move to smoother waters. Netanyahu, Jared Kushner. Oh, they're certainly involved. Just as a psychic hit on that one. Look at this. Let me pull a clarifier. Ah, all right. It's pretty clear. So as you saw, the card leapt out, was just talking about Jared Kushner, blah, 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 you know, here. So here is the element here of moving to smoother waters. But this card also talks about boats, and therefore it also can talk about coastlines as well. Coastlines. Bear that in mind, particularly as well with what Jared has said in regard to what he thinks of the coastline. Yeah. Particularly where the Palestinians are. Quite interesting. If we look here, the middle card here is the Ten of Cups. So this is talking about, you know, the happy family, creating the happy family. But isn't it interesting, whenever we read, particularly politically, this always comes up as well whenever we're talking the things or matters of GOP, stuff like that. But I think what this is about, I think this is about a collaboration between these two men to obviously increase the family in some kind of way, increase providence, wealth, support. Yeah, because, you know, this is about the bright future. If we look here, though, with the outcome card, the Two of Pentacles is back again. So look, we see there is a big financial element here, and this kind of dovetails into what I would, isn't it interesting how the questions, one has led on to the other, and this is dovetailing what we were talking about just now with Lebanon and the conflict. So here we see, look, this is also about finances, resources, but there's also an element of manipulation here or control on these choppy waters. So again, we're having waters, coastline show up twice. And so I thought, let me pull a clarifier on what are those negotiations. And we get here the high priestess. So they are clandestine. Yeah, they are clandestine. They are under the covers, so to speak. How much the FBI knows about it, anyone's guess. But what this says to me is that these negotiations, they're certainly happening, but is a subtext. So the conflicts may be being presented to the world in a certain way, but what is underlying is something else. Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't get this high priestess here. And yeah, it's very interesting because she's here. We see the moon. She's holding the Torah, and then this is also the Egyptian headdress as well. And we've got the towers of King Solomon as well in the background. So this is very interesting. So I think there are negotiations, but we are not privy to them. And maybe this is more of what is underlying, truly underlying what is being presented potentially as something else to the world. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got the high priestess. So thank you so much for that question. Quite unexpected. All right. Let's get on to Naomi Campbell. Let me just scroll down as well, because of course I'm a Brit and I don't often get to read on Brits. Oh, this is interesting. All right, I'll see if I can squeeze that in. So Jenny, let's see if that's going to show up. Sorry, I'm on my Chromebook, guys, so it's a bit slow. So Jenny says, Hoagie, getting here late. Oh, don't worry. Please do a read on the Bard on NYC Mayor Adams. Everything is hitting the fan today. Oof, my goodness. All right. So let's do let me do it now. Otherwise, I'll forget, won't I? Let's just do a quick Bard read on that. See what the Bard has to say about this guy. He clearly is a bit of a sketchy-roo. All right. What does the Bard have to say? Great Bard, what do you have to tell us about Adams? Well, on this, oh, I've read these ones before though. They've come out before. Let me just go again. One of them just said, "Go hang yourself." Let's see here. Oh, nice. Wanting to come back to these pages here. Yeah, look, it's come back to the same page. Okay, so Troilus and Cressida. And this is what the Bard has to say about Mayor Adams. Go hang yourself, you naughty, mocking uncle. Troilus and Cressida. Not me saying that. And then on the net page, it said here, Splud, you starveling, you elfskin, you dried neat's tongue, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish. Oh, for breath to utter what else is like thee, you tailor's yard, you sheath, you bow case, you vile standing tuck. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the Bard wasn't very polite, was he? And I flicked through and I just felt again, and that's what he wanted to say. So yes, Mayor Adams, a bit sketchy. All right, so let's look here. This is coming from Nick Minks. Now this is quite a juicy one for me because this is a British story, this one. So she says, model Naomi Campbell, we all know who she is. Model Naomi Campbell, who is an iconic, just in case people don't know, actually, I shouldn't assume. She is an iconic supermodel, Black British supermodel, looks like an absolute goddess, was up there in the mix with Yasmin Gari, who's absolutely, oh my God, just the most, she has basically, Yasmin Gari and Naomi Campbell have two of the best walks in fashion, pretty much. There's great walks, but those two are considered the best. But her contemporaries were Kate Moss, Claudia Schiffer, Cindy Crawford, Christy Turlington, Linda Evangelista. You know, famously, she was also in the that video, that iconic video with George Michael. And so she is a bit of an icon. She's certainly a fashion icon, a cultural icon in Britain, and she actually just recently had her own exclusive show at the V&A of her life, fashion, her influence and stuff. So she, you know, she's you know, quite up there. I'm sure she was probably in line for a damehood, but let's read this. Model Naomi Campbell has been banned from being a charity trustee after a watchdog found charity funds were spent on luxury hotels and spa treatments. Oops! Do the cards show if we should be wary of charities run by celebrities? I would say probably yes. The Trump family are another lot who were caught. So interested to see if any cards appear to show money not going where it should. Well, that's been kind of conflated together with the two. I mean, we know that the Trump family cheated already and are famous cheats, but let's just see this on Naomi Campbell. What were her motivations for setting up the charity? What a shame. If she's not allowed to be a charity trustee anymore. Not good. And they wouldn't have done that without evidence, of course. Let's see, Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell and trustees, celebrity trustees in general. All the energies there. All the energies there. Let's have a look. Well. You're going to find these cards very interesting, folks. Oh, wow, there's 625 of you in. First of all, I think Naomi's feeling a bit devastated, yeah? Because obviously it's a huge dent to one's reputation, you know, to be a trustee of a charity and then found to be, you know, spending the goods on, you know, luxury hotels and spa treatments, yeah? Not a good look, yeah? And she's probably feeling quite embarrassed as well because she's done a lot of work with Nelson Mandela, who she called Madiba, who was basically her surrogate grandfather, really. So obviously, you know, not good. She, you know, she's risen so high and then just to kind of have this is not great. So she's probably not feeling very good about herself. Look what's in the obstacle position. You see how spirit works? Look, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Now, this card, remember what I said, though, this card deals with what? Money, wealth, and luxuries of all kinds. This shows that if financially secure, independent, it doesn't have to be a woman, but it talks about financial independence, talks about luxury, talks about having everything that you want in life. This is here the woman who's become independent through her own efforts, through her own work. You see the grapes ripening in the background, plenty of coin. She's got her falcon there and she's got her house. So this couldn't be more symptomatic of Naomi Campbell, could it? She was a girl who grew up in Croydon. And, oh, someone's left something here, a note. She grew up in Croydon, was an ordinary girl, and of course went on to become a global superstar and sensation. However, what is the shadow of this card? Because it's turned up in the obstacle position. The shadow of this card is vanity. Yeah, vanity and vice. Yeah, where a person may get too lost in what? The luxurious lifestyle, and this can also maybe affect their moral judgment. So I think this is exactly what's happened with Naomi. You know, how else to put it? I mean, it's just there. If we look here, this is also talking about conflict and struggle and disagreement, you know, so there's probably a bit of a disarray in terms of her office or the people that support her. This also will, as well, will be probably talking about the people that want to defend Naomi and not have her reputation completely trashed. And those that also believe was just like, oh, how could she have done this? Because, I mean, she has done a lot for charity from what I understand, but obviously people now going to, you know, the positive contributions that she's made, people are now going to, of course, question those. They're going to question them. Things are moving at a pace. Yep. So there is an element to this story which is out of Naomi's control. She's probably getting a lot of emails right now. She's probably hearing back quite a lot as well from sponsors, endorsers, etc. Because, of course, models are now global brands as well. And that was one of the things that Naomi said, Linda Evangelista, taught not only her and the others, Christie, etc., taught them to recognize themselves as brands and as brand ambassadors. So of course, if you've been demoted or if you've been taken off for, you know, spending money and stuff like that in the wrong places, that's obviously not going to look good. But Naomi is a survivor. Yeah, she is a survivor. She's been through all sorts of difficulties before. Famously, when she had to do a community service, remember throwing the phone at one of her helpers' hands. On her last day, she left her workplace in a dazzling crystal encrusted gown by Versace, which was really quite something. So she's a survivor. She'll get through this, but it's not a good look. Not a good look for Naomi. All right, let's now move on. Let's talk about Zelensky and Duck Orange, because this really is quite something, isn't it, guys? And someone also has wrote here as well. Oh, well, let me just see. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? 1 second, look. Here, bless. Look what Sherry's wrote. Look what Sherry's wrote. She said, "Boo-hoo, Naomi, don't feel so bad for her. Shouldn't have done the greedy thing. She has plenty of money, so why would you ruin your name?" Yes, she was already a multimillionaire, but you know what is, Sherry? It gets to people. And what is, they see the quantity. They see the quantity that these charities can bring in, and they just think, oh yeah, you know, I'll siphon a little bit of that off. Someone else has said here, Magical Mermaid said, the model has no clothes. I love you guys, humors, guys. Let's see here. And let's see here, what else? Oh, look, someone's saying here, Naomi is going to be questioned by the feds on the P. Diddy case. Oh goodness! So looks like her this won't be her last day in court. And let's see here, scrolling down, and yeah, Jenny Bays says they never have enough. Oh, and thanks for this update. So JC says, tell Hoagie that Trump cancelled the Zelensky MTG. Do you mean Marjorie Taylor Greene? Or meeting, I think that's what you meant to say. So it's been cancelled. Okay. Thanks for that update. It probably really wasn't a wise thing there. Let's read it. Thanks for that update. Let's then look at, there was a question here. We've done that. Zelensky, which is not happening. Netanyahu, Naomi Campbell, Asteroid. 1 minute. There was another one which was talking about the GOP. Zelensky, Sudan, Naomi Campbell. Oh, there's one on a cargo ship. There was someone who was asking about what the GOP said about Haitians. Cargo ship. Naomi Campbell. Where's it gone? Let's see here. Zelensky was to meet Orange to discuss peace plan. Is there any chance the info was given to back to Putin? But that's now redundant. Here we are. So Denise Ferguson, this is what you've asked. Oh wow, my gosh, it's getting close to 700 of you now. So Denise Ferguson, House MAGA Republican Clay Higgins posted on X on Wednesday that Haiti is a nasty country, called Haitians thugs who need to get their assets out of our country before January 20th. Wow. This is the same man who assaulted a young male reporter on Capitol Hill and accused FBI Director Wray in a public hearing of busing in agents on Jan 6th dressed up as Trump supporters. Will he be re-elected or censored? He has since deleted his post. Oh God, the MAGA bunch are just Look, Haiti's got a lot of problems, yeah, but a lot of what Haiti's problems do stem back from how they've been treated by France, and not just by France, the whole of the world. Chronic uninvestment, a combination of chronic lack of investment, huge international debts, combined with natural disasters, earthquakes, the whole shebang. I would have to say Haiti's probably one of the most unlucky countries in the world. And I don't mean that as a slight against the Haitians. I'm just talking about like what has been happening to them. So it's a bit rich when people denigrate them further because you know, America's a much bigger, obviously it's a much, I mean, Haiti is just, as you know, is an island. It's a, you know, it's a little island. But let's just see on this guy, this GOP guy, Clay Higgins. What's the energy around him? Of course, it's just to feed into the wider narrative, isn't it? That the false narrative, which they admitted. The thing is, we're in this weird state where, you know, Vice President, what's his name? J.D. Vance, Trump's vice, basically admitted that he'd made the story up about pets being eaten and stuff like that. But the fact it can be nakedly put forward as false, and yet it is still reported in certain sections of the media as if it were true. And we have this strange, bizarre thing going on now in politics where you can even admit to making up whatever you want, and it is treated as news rather than people just being utterly dismissed or being told to resign. You know, that's really what should be happening, is that people should be told to resign. They are breaking so many campaigning rules. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let's just see. It's the energy of this guy. It's just ridiculous. Like, politics has become kind of cartoonish, wouldn't you say, guys? But it's so consequential at the same time. Very bizarre, very strange. I think with that Rahu Dasha as well, that the United States is going through is only contributing to the madness. But it could also help Kamala as well. It's a mixed bag. You're going to find this very interesting, guys. It's about the base. Yeah. Do you remember how I say the Queen of Pentacles can also represent the voters? Yeah, the voters at home. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Let me click on that. Let me click on that so I don't forget. So look, it's about the base. Yeah, this is really what this is about. It's about shoring up the base. They know that they can't really appeal to anyone that's, you know, reasonable in in any fashion. So this is about shoring up the base and maintaining their stronghold. We see here in the obstacle position, we see here the Page of Swords. Now remember, pages are always talking about messages. And of course, the Page of Swords, and it's turned up in the obstacle, the shadow of this card can mean malicious gossip. Isn't that interesting? Malicious gossip. J.D. Vance has already admitted that the story that he said is not true. Yeah. And it's being entertained anyway. But here we can see vicious. So something to shore up the base. They're using malicious gossip. And I think the reason why they're doing this is because they're not liking the options on the table. Yeah, the GOP are obviously, you know, J.D. Vance and Trump quite rightly being called out for being weird. You know, they're getting a little bit desperate. They're not liking the options on the table. So they're like, you know what? We'll make something up. We'll take the left field option. Yeah, because in the Four of sorry, I said Pentacles, I think. In the Four of Cups, so one has an option to take when one doesn't like the options, but it's a bit left field. You see the hand is just coming out of the sky. They've plucked this people eating pets out of the sky, quite literally. Why? It's to defend their position. Yeah. They feel like that they're not doing as well in the, well, I say they feel like, no, they've not been doing as well in the polls, because obviously now it's pretty much 50-50. Whereas where it was before, They had a clear advantage, of course, over Biden. People didn't want to admit it, but it really was the case. But now, obviously, the gap has closed, and in many national polls, Kamala is considered ahead, still within the margin of error, but ahead. So they've had to do something, to defend themselves against this sea change, particularly this sea change of optimism that Kamala is obviously bringing. So this is like J.D. Vance and Trump here, yeah? And then, but what is it about? Look at the outcome card. Do you see how the cards have repeated? Vanity. It's about political vanity, and it's about the money. These people, they don't give a flying hoot about their base. They're just interested in what? Maintaining their own standard of living, their own independence, their own luxuries, just in case we weren't sure. And, you know, just so you know, this isn't just happening in America, it's happening all over the world. Sir Keir Starmer over here, our Prime Minister, who you know I do not like, he's just been embroiled in a scandal where he's been accepting, he and his wife has been accepting thousands of pounds worth of clothes, luxury goods. Even the new Chancellor, she received £7,000 worth of clothing, yeah, from benefactors and sponsors, and she put it down as office supplies. Yeah. So it's not just UK, just so you know, I'm not just bashing America or anything like, well, look, I'm just reading the cards. It's everywhere, this greed, this vanity. Yeah, it showed up obviously for Naomi, but here it is again. This is JD Vance as well. I think he's extraordinarily vain. It's just about the power. But wasn't that revealing, eh? Wasn't that revealing? Let's squeeze in one more. Let's just see what's going on with Duck Larange. I think I've gone a couple of weeks without reading on the on the orange one. Let's see what's going on with Duck Larange. Let's see why he cancelled that meeting with Zelensky. I mean, I would say politically unwise for both men, to be honest. So that's probably quite a sensible decision, I would say. It would have been extremely controversial. Even by Duck Larange standards, that would have been up there. And maybe even he's recognized the political risk. Maybe there was pushback, but let me not speculate too much. Let's see what the cards say. Why did Duck Larange cancel that meeting with Zelensky? And thanks for letting me know in the updates, by the way. So that was good. It means I wouldn't have read on a question that was redundant. Obviously, things change quickly. So when the person wrote the question, it was still relevant. Okay, why did Duck Larange, why did Trump cancel that meeting? Probably from the wiser. Not I'm going to praise his political judgment, but it would have been a real, even by his standards, that would have been something out there. Let's have a look. This is extraordinary. The cards that keep coming back. Anyway. So you saw me shuffling thoroughly. Yeah. Oh, there's 689 of you in the room with me now. Thank you so much. Mwah! Big love. Much appreciated here from what someone believed was my prison cell. Anyways, it's my dorm. Yeah. So if we look here, we have got the Four of Cups. So the question was, which I posed, which was, why did Duck Larange cancel the meeting? It's because it didn't like the options that were on the table. It probably decided it was just, even for him, probably a bit too politically risky, especially when one considers as well his close ties and connections, of course, with Putinshka. Yeah. That would have been like him in many ways meeting the other side. Yeah, really, it would have been him like meeting the other side. And there could have even been a phone call from a certain you know who. Yeah, in this regard. So yes, I think when he was weighing the options this time, he didn't take the left field one. But I think it was something that obviously it was planned, and he thought better of it. If we look here. If we look here, we have the Eight of Pentacles, but turning up in the obstacle position. So what this says to me is the meeting would have undermined previous work and plans. Let's not forget the Eight of Pentacles really does talk about working hard towards something. Like you can see here he is in the workshop. It's also very studious. It's a very manifesting card. So what this says to me is that the meeting would have somehow undermined these plans because maybe plans he had with someone else, yeah? Maybe a certain Putinshka. But either way, it would have undermined certain plans and work that he's been doing perhaps behind the scenes. We look here. We have the Strength card has shown up here. So now the Strength card can literally talk about physical strength, but it's not just that. It can also talk about the moral high ground. I mean, can you believe that Duck Larange has actually got this card in the middle? I mean, I'm quite surprised, but as you know, I have to say what I see. So here you've got the Maiden, which is controlling the Lion here, and of course this talks about Leo energy. So this could also be talking about Duck Larange as well, because he is, of course, a Leo ascendant. Yeah. So there is an element here of rare self-restraint. There was an element here to restrain something, bring something under control, but without using obvious force, yeah, because that is also what the Strength card is about. It's about taming one's deeper instincts or more animal instincts. If we look here, we've got the Knight of Cups. So there's some element here of some kind of, oh, this would of course would have been talking about some kind of message or something like that. So we'll see here. There was something here to do. Maybe he was worried about the kind of message it would send to the world. And then the outcome card here is justice. So there could have been potential legal ramifications, or maybe some kind of, he may have, you know, may have basically put something down in writing that he may have regretted later. So this is quite interesting here. So I think in the end it was maybe too much of a political risk for Duck Larange. And that's probably why he cancelled the meeting, or that was the update that I was given anyway. And I'm just reading the energies there. But I think the main thing is that it would have undermined plans, previous plans he had with someone else, which is probably, you know who, probably Putinshka. And he actually, this was a rare moment of restraint, self-restraint, because he was worried about the message it would send and the potential legal ramifications for that. So that's my answer on that. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Let me just do some quick thank yous. So thank you, Jeannie. Is it Jenny? Jeannie? Jenny, for your donation. Much appreciated. And thank you to as well to Hummingbird as well. Oh, she's saying happy birthday. Love your shows. Thank you so much, Hummingbird. Much appreciated. I will leave it there. I probably should figure out what I'm going to do in my evening now, but it is raining. So you will see me again on Saturday, of course, for Hogely. I have to see where I am. I'll be on the boat, probably. Yes, I'll be on the boat. And Manuela, thank you for your question as well, because you're right. I probably should have a little look up, see what the rest of the year holds in store for people. Maybe a little quick look at 2025 as well, maybe going into a little bit more detail on that. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you too for the donations. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Mwah! Big love from Vancouver here. And when you next see me, I'm going to be somewhere else. Yeah. Or I don't know where I'll be, but no, actually, I'll still be here. What am I talking about? Thursday, Friday. So, no, Saturday, I think I'll still be here. I think I'll still be on land. The one after that, anyway. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.